Hello, this is Age of Empires gameplay of the Ottomans versus Holy Roman Empire. So just speed up the start quickly. The start is pretty standard. This time I've put 3 on gold and then everyone else on food. Got a decent number of sheep. And yeah, focused on getting that feudal age upgrade as soon as possible. There it is, coming up now. That's just my scout having a few pot shots taken at it. Feudal age is got into at this point, just a little bit ahead of the enemy. Start to go on to lumber now, trying to make sure that the villagers and they're not walking too far to deposit those trees, and then also onto stone. The Ottomans, of course, need to build those military schools as early as possible. So I've now got 2 military schools up, which is good, and then put a blacksmith just next to them, meaning that they actually are slightly faster than they would be without that barracks there, which is always good. Sorry, blacksmith there. Now I'm heading into Castle Age. Let's look at the stats quickly. So Schustrik is doing quite well on food. He's doing better than me currently. So he's upped his wood. If you look at the 500 per minute versus 180 per minute. Doing quite well on gold. He's actually doing quite well across the board, really. I'm just getting a bit more on stone. He's not bothering with the stone. Fair enough. In terms of troop numbers, I'm down. So I do actually manage to get this scout, which is nice. So the enemy has more troops than I do at this point, but I have, for some reason, actually significantly more villagers, I've just noticed. Interesting. Go and have a quick peek at what they're up to. Got the cathedral, monastery. Gone heavy on barracks building. Gone for 2 blacksmiths, interesting choice. Currently having some downtime with these villagers. Not too bad. Not quite sure why they have got almost 10 villagers less than me at this point. That might indicate a little bit of a mistake on villager production. So I think this is the point I start to put, oh no, not quite yet, in a minute I put a lot of people on gold to try and get that up. Yeah, I'm losing on gold a little bit, which isn't good. They're focusing quite a lot on upgrades at this point. I don't quite get this scout. I'm actually doing better at them militarily now. So we've kind of swapped there. My plan in this matchup is to basically wait until I'm ready to go on Imperial Age, which is why I'm heading down here now, because I've got a lot of wood and that can kind of see me through. I'm now heading straight to berries down here, and I'm also, I think they're around here, yeah, I'm heading to these berries as well. That means I don't have to bother with creating a huge number of farms. I have created some farms to keep that flow going, but it just speeds it up and saves me that wood. And the plan will be, as soon as I've got enough food, I will do a Imperial Age Ottoman Seagate Castle rush. So hopefully that food is going to skyrocket in the very near future. So as you see, I'm putting a lot on food now, and I've essentially taken, or I have taken everyone off lumber. They correspondingly starting to do a bit better on creating a bit of a military there. They've also picked up all the relics. It is not a bad idea when you're playing against Holy Roman Empire to try and deny the enemy the relics, but I didn't bother at this point on this game. So this is actually just a scout that does a bit of villager chasing that I essentially ignore because I'm kind of too busy focusing on this. My plan very much is to, once I've got a decent force, which is about now, I'm going to start to move, and I'm going to mine hop. So I'm going to go from this mine, making sure that it's fairly clear, put a load of villagers on it, especially when they've run out of berries to collect from, for example, here and here. Oops, and here. I'm going to put all those villagers on gold as I'm just kind of waiting for my force to be ready to go. And it's quite interesting at this point. I'm going to slow down now because this is really it. We actually miss each other. So if you see the enemy army is actually doing pretty much exactly the same thing. They haven't got quite as many troops as I have in the push. I didn't obviously know this was going on. So the difference between the two pushes is obvious essentially. Because I'm taking 40 villagers, right? I'm taking 40 villagers behind that main push. I see these mangonels, and it's too obvious a target to miss up, so I just go for it. They do some damage with that shot, which is nice. But it is worth, I think, if you see a mangonel, go for it. They try and castle rush me, which isn't a bad idea, but that castle's built too far away. I don't even notice it's there. So it really is far too far away. They should have come up to about here and put that castle there, and then I would have had real trouble to do anything. Importantly, I'm trying to kind of discipline my troops in terms of stopping them going too near that town centre. Come down here. I've decided to just put the Seagate Castle down at the back of their base. I realised that it would be slightly better to go here, you know, but by kind of making that, by trying to do that, you risk the enemy pushing and successfully defeating this initial force. Oh, my mangonels are getting in the way at the moment, which is a bit annoying. But that is a risk, right? If you try and get that perfect location for the Imperial push, you're risking actually having the entire incursion wiped out. Now I do at this point notice that they're attacking, obviously, so we've kind of both attacked at the same time. And in a minute I'll take my villagers and essentially just scarp it, just run away, just move them right the way down here. I put a load on gold here, and I just come up with the rest of the villagers here and put them on lumber, because I know I'm going to need lumber if they come and try and take that Seagate Castle out. Now the good thing is here that they haven't got an Imperial landmark with this army. So what actually occurs is they do manage to obviously take out my landmarks here, but it doesn't matter because I've managed to establish my Imperial landmark here, and so I'm able to simply I'm able to stay in the game because of that Imperial landmark. If that wasn't there, then I would have lost. And that's another reason that the Imperial push is quite an effective strategy. I'm not doing very well with keeping my units in check, and I keep running after the enemy men-at-arms, which, by the way, are not upgraded. I was saying the men-at-arms were, they're doing a lot of upgrades before, but it's actually mainly blacksmith upgrades. They haven't bothered to upgrade the... Oh, that's because, sorry, they're not in Imperial yet, and so they can't yet. Fair enough. They're using emergency repairs, which is always a pain when you're attacking a civilization that's able to use emergency repairs, because it's very strong. So I see that there are a load of villagers here, and I do go for them. So yeah, once this is happening, I would suggest just remove all your villagers and kind of put them somewhere a little bit safer and concentrate on the actual attack. Obviously it's not good to keep them idle like I'm doing here. It's just because I was focusing on trying to take out their villages, I guess. So I waste a bit of time on that. There we are, they're moving now. Yeah, so they pretty efficiently take out my landmarks, but they're completely undefended, so I mean it's not particularly impressive. Yeah, landmark victory approaching 2 out of 4. I just decided it's worth it, even if I lose a few units, to take out this outpost, and then obviously the villagers that are in it and around it. At this point I've seen that their main army is fairly far away, and so I've got a bit of time and I can kind of move around a bit, and I'm hoping to find other kind of villages to deal with. And this is what I mean about kind of coming back onto lumber in a bit of a safer location than back in my base. This was a mistake. A slight mistake, not a big mistake. I then realised it was a mistake and moved back, although for some reason some of my units decided... I don't quite take all my units apparently. That was a slightly schoolboy error. But so I've still got some units protecting these, but perhaps not enough. If I do lose... I realised that I should have these back here, and perhaps... Oops. Yeah, that was a mistake. Luckily they haven't got quite the force to really deal with it, so I garrison and obviously... Oops. Use these people, there we go, to repair as they're attacking. I think I'm using these to repair as well, I guess. Yeah. Just to be sure. And that's silly. They should have bought, that was silly really, isn't it? If you're trying to defend against this, what you need to do is just keep your units here and take it out with a trebuchet. So that would start to be a real problem for me, because I would have to push it, and I don't have enough units to push it without the kind of oversight of the Seagate Castle. And I'm quite keen to get these deer. Oh, I am in a minute quite keen to get these deer. Oh, there we are. So really what I should be doing at the moment is... Well, for some reason I'm attacking the What I should be doing is focusing on the cathedral and monastery because they're getting a lot of resources from these relics. The other thing to do is to focus on where they're getting gold from, because as well as the relics, they've actually got a load of gold just kind of stocked up. I obviously didn't know that. So you see, I would have lost here. I had not got that Seagate Castle in place. They don't follow through with building these outposts. Building these outposts would have been a very good idea, but they don't follow through with it. So I'm able to, as soon as they've kind of retreated, start to rebuild the town centre, which is very useful. And obviously whilst that's going on, there is a bit of a flow of troops still from these military schools that they haven't destroyed. They're just normal knights, but I admit they should be better. I should be better defending my trebuchets. Soldiers being a bit undisciplined and running around everywhere. Obviously helps me significantly that they're kind of pushing my Seagate Castle essentially. It's like almost perfect. If you're in this situation, don't bother trying to push the Seagate Castle unless you have overwhelming force. Or if you're gonna, if you're gonna try and attack it, do so with trebuchets from over here or over here. So I'm finally attacking their cathedral to stop them getting that gold income, and then once that's done, there we are. I think he realises that the jig's up. I've gone way too much on kind of wasted wood here as well. That's way too many military buildings. Yeah, I really should have put these outposts up. It would have helped. Oops. Speed up again. I am managing to take their villagers out. Not really meaning to be honest. The soldiers are just doing their own thing to a certain extent. I'm quite happy to kind of let stuff happen at this point because I'm pretty confident that the result is fairly inevitable. That's just a scout. I do think they might be, getting on the gold, so I do move these troops around looking for where they're collecting gold from. And earlier I found them over here and managed to take them out. But it turns out I think they had just kind of stockpiled gold, so they weren't bothering focusing on gold so much. I'd started to create, because obviously food had become an issue, so I started to create farms and also started to collect food from here, although maybe those villagers have moved off or been killed or something, I don't know. This is quite good, so obviously I'm able to do a kind of retreat and then a sack move up. Which works quite well, really. Kind of draws the enemy in quite nicely. Yeah, these emergency repairs are annoying. But in terms of the stats, it's fairly clear now what the situation is. Yeah, just moving around. I'm moving onto checking that gold out. And keeping the trebuchets working, whilst also kind of doing raids onto the town centre. Good game.